So, my good people, let me get this video in right now. Last night's Friday Night SmackDown. I don't want to talk about the whole show, most of it, or even half of it. I want to talk about a segment that led to a match. I just did a video and I asked, in that video, why people booing Bianca Belair. And I also said in that video that I don't know if she's really injured or if it's part of a storyline or to take her off TV for a while to bring her back where the people miss her and she comes back to being cheered. Well, they brought her back last night in her hometown, Knoxville, Tennessee. She gets cheered. They play their alma mater. Yeah, these are all tactics to get the crowd to engage the way they want them to. So, smart, cool. So they do that. And she's talking about how Knoxville is her safe space. When she doesn't feel safe and she doesn't feel like herself, she comes back home. They always show her so much love and support. And now, this crowd wasn't electrifying. It wasn't, they gave it up more for singing the alma mater more so than they did cheering her. But they cheered her. It's not like I heard any boos or anything, but this wasn't the loudest cheer. You know what I mean? Okay, so anyways, so she comes back. She's speaking, and then she pretty much shout out her mom and dad who's in the front row. And then Naomi comes out. Now, Naomi goes into this whole, I'm heartbroken, I want my friend back type of thing, and I've been calling and texting, and you haven't been returning my calls. Then she adds that how she went to the house. Now, the mother and father is shaking their head like, no, she didn't come to our house. And then she said, I did go to your house. No one answered, so I let myself in. Like some soap opera stuff. You know how Martin, how they never lock their doors on these soap operas. People just walk in, come and go. They don't knock anything, like it's a soap opera. So anyway, the crowd, ooh, and she says she starts looking at old photos of how Bianca was smiling. They reminded her of the days when they were tag team champions, and she wanted to go back to that. And then, Bianca tells her, if you ever come near my family again, what you did to Jade is nothing compared to what I'm going to do to you. And then she goes into, Naomi, she goes into this, she says something about it would be sad if you or your mom both end up in a wheelchair, something to that effect. Then she says it would be, basically she threatens her. And the funny thing in this story is, before Naomi even came out, Bianca starts explaining how she lost both of her best friends or whatever. And how'd you lose both of them? This is where the story is cloudy as hell. And like Triple H said, stories don't have to make sense, because this one doesn't. So this is why I asked the question on the thumbnail, and in the description, like, will we ever get closure on this story? Because it's been a while now. I could understand she lost Naomi. Because, and listen, before I even continue, I don't need you to give me your opinion on what you think without them even saying it. I'm not talking about something where you think the story might go. I don't need you trying to sum up the story for me, because I'm not missing anything. They're missing pieces. What I'm missing is because they're not putting anything that makes sense into this damn story. So, okay, you lose Naomi because Naomi is helping you investigate to find out who did what to Jade. They didn't put any effort, any real work into it. It was mentioned here and there. I mean, we talked about that lazy-ass storytelling. But the whole time, it was Naomi. Now, we were getting the impression that it might be both of them, just because of the way it went and the way it was acted out. They both seemed so phony. So I felt, like I said before, Jade was I mean, Bianca was getting booed because people felt like, yeah, you had something to do with it too. So there was no trust there that at some point we're going to find out Bianca was just as guilty as Naomi. Well, we know that couldn't be the case at this point because Naomi would already let the cat out the bag, okay, from the very beginning. That, hey, you was on this too, right? So I can understand you lose a friend in Naomi because she betrayed your trust. That I get. Now, let's go back to what I told you guys. Jade fucked the story up as well. Because the night before the event, before the Elimination Chamber, remember, she tweeted. She's taking pictures. Now, mind you, she's supposed to be recovering, okay, and she's coming back with a vengeance. She's taking pictures in a bikini, smiling on some island somewhere, and then she tweets, "We made it," and put a heart and smiling emoji. And this was directed to Naomi and Bianca. Like, you're supposed to be beefing right now. What are you doing? You know? So what ends up happening is for her to come out and she puts the beats on Naomi. Remember, the following SmackDown, right? She puts the beats on her, but before she does that, what happens? Bianca's telling Naomi, we're done, right? Now, mind you, Jade Cargill music hit, she comes out, she stands there, she locks eyes with Bianca. Bianca give her the heads up, the nod, like, go ahead, handle your business. She goes in there and smack Naomi around a little bit more. Last night, she comes in, she stands there, and she's staring at Bianca. Bianca's standing there looking unsure, and then Jade just gets out the ring and leave. Now, if they're going to go with the whole "I can't believe you replaced me" nonsense, that wouldn't make sense because Naomi, according to Jade, she felt betrayed. This was like her big sister. Remember when she was all crying and it's like, this is my big sister. She betrayed me and whatever. So you have their blessings to go ahead and become a tag team while you were out, right? But at the same time, what makes no sense is because you come back and then she said she know who attacked her. So the whole time, wouldn't that give her a reason to say, hey, Bianca, Naomi's the one that attacked me. But no, they wanted to wait for her to come back. The story was so sloppy, I told you, they put no real effort into this shit, man. So the story is so unclear. It just makes no sense. Now, with that all being said, how did she lose? How did Bianca lose friendship with Jade? That's the part that makes zero sense. That just makes no sense as to how they, stop being cool. And then on top of that, for her to, not attack Bianca. Remember, Bianca's in that pod, though. She didn't say anything or directly get comments to her. She just went in there and put the beats on Naomi. And like I said, the following week on SmackDown, when she came out, Bianca stepped aside and just nodded her head like, hey, she goes in there. Like, so where's the beef between these two? You understand what I mean? Then on top of that, if she pulled the no call, no text messages, okay, but wait, wasn't Bianca supposedly her and Naomi trying to find out who did what, but the whole time Bianca was being deceived? You see, so what is the beef? How did she lose? How did she lose Jade Cargill? This is the whole stupid part about the whole storyline. It makes no sense. Okay. Well, there's a match between Naomi, Nia Jax, and Jade Cargill. So they're going on and on. Now, this thing has been going on for so long now, but still, the story it makes no sense. So this is a qualifier for Money in the Bank. Now, they're doing what they're doing in the ring. We've seen, And this is part of where the storylines make the matches don't even matter, because once you start something that you can't finish, and it just becomes, and I'm not talking about something where someone gets injured, someone the contract is up, and when you expected them to resign, they leave or some shit like that. We're talking about a situation where, or somebody does some dumb shit and get in legal trouble, and they have to be pulled from the storyline. We're talking about a situation where the storyline is just lazy and there's no creative process or even common sense in the damn story. Just give them anything, right? Remember, at one point, WWE was heavy about talking about having writers. You don't hear them talking about that stuff anymore, right? Okay. I don't really think you need writers, but whatever. But here's the deal. And not to mention, the writers they had didn't even watch wrestling. And remember, that came out, that they wasn't even wrestling fans. And I always said, WWE fans are the most biased fans in the world. They will just take whatever garbage that's given and somehow try to talk about it like it's golden. All right. Well, case in point, towards the end, Nia Jax stacks. She pulls Jade in the corner. She pulls Naomi on top of Jade, so she's going up for her dominator. That's what she calls the move or whatever. And as she's getting ready to come down, Naomi rolls out the way. So Jade gets squashed. And then Naomi rolls up Nia and gets the win. Now, cool that Jade didn't get pinned. I think that was the right call. Okay. Jade already lost a very meaningless, stupid match to Liv Morgan. That was like some dumb shit. And this was her comeback fight. Her first match back since getting attacked by Naomi. And she needs this momentum, because I'm going to beat Liv and I'm going to go into this match and beat Naomi. She had no reason to even lose this match. I don't even know why they even booked that match in the first place. It was just so stupid, man. It was such a stupid, meaningless match. And people who didn't get it then probably look at it now and go, damn, this motherfucker's right. That was a stupid match. For what? What was the purpose? How do you lose? How do you lose your comeback match? This isn't real fighting. This is fucking scripted shit. How do you lose this, man? Like, come on. So anyways, Naomi advances to Money in the Bank. Now, I don't know what happens with Jade at this point. What's next for her? Because I don't think that her and Naomi is done, you see. So I don't know what's going on. And we may very well have a rematch somewhere between Naomi and Jade at the next pay-per-view after Money in the Bank or whatever. Who knows? I don't know. We could look and say it might be Nia Jax her next. I don't know. I don't really want to try to figure it out. I just the question of what does Jade do now, because she doesn't qualify. This is the second time. Remember, she didn't qualify. I forgot what it was. What was it where she got disqualified in the match against Nia Jax? It's like, they Jade is there, but she's aside from, I don't even consider her beating Naomi revenge, because this wasn't about Naomi beat me. Okay, now I want to beat her back. This was about Naomi took you out, so they should have had a grudge match. But bottom line, it is what it is, man. This story is so weak that anytime they make mentions of it, nothing comes out of it to explain anything. And Naomi is playing the role of, like, what's that movie? The Roommate. You guys saw The Roommate? Remember, two college girls, and then the one girl was like on meds and was crazy, and the girl didn't know it at first. She was lying, pretending people did things to her and all that to get attention, and then she took her home with her to the parents and met the parents, and then found medication and come to realize, like, this chick was crazy. And she was doing things and didn't want nobody to get close to her. She wanted to be her only friend, and she was really screwed up in the head. And this is kind of like Naomi's playing this psychopathic role. Okay, whatever. Let me ask you guys a question. Wouldn't it make more sense? Like, we don't know where Bianca Belair's parents live, right? But wouldn't it make more sense that there was a scene where Naomi actually lets herself in? Because obviously they didn't lock the door, right? It wasn't a break in. Don't you think if she broke in their house, they'd be pressing charges? You understand what I'm saying? Like, you think about it, right? But they're not pressing charges or whatever. Okay, whatever. Let Bianca deal with it. You go about my family again. What you did to Jade is nothing compared to what I'll do to you. Okay. But wouldn't it make more sense just to, hey, she's sitting on the couch sitting there smiling, and then she's looking at Bianca's pictures, instead of just putting in a weak ass storyline to say, I went into your parents' house because they wasn't there, nobody answered, so I let myself in, or what? Wouldn't that just make more sense? You know, this is what I mean about greedy. Greedy. We want your money, but we want to give you some half-ass bull crap in return. Would have made far more sense. You know, they don't even make the effort, man. Just let her stand in the ring and tell you this is what she did. All right. Well, anyway, that's what they did. That's what they gave you last night. And I don't know what Jade does next. I really don't even know how they see Jade, honestly, based on how she's being moved. I heard rumors that Stephanie Vaquer is supposed to be coming to the main roster. I don't find it hard to believe because she's already came there a couple of times, but she, like I said, she could have done that from the very beginning. And also Jordynne Grace. The only thing is Jordynne Grace didn't accomplish a damn thing at NXT. That's pretty much the only one thing. I mean, she didn't do anything there. Coming to the main roster, do they finally get it right and realize what Jordynne Grace's worth is, what she brings to the table, or do they continue to keep her, in this, somebody made a comment about her small size. What do you mean? Look at Roxanne Perez. Look at Liv. Are you serious? And she's much stronger than both of them and better than both of them. What, are you kidding me? Like, what? What does that have to do with anything? Like, come on, man. Ivy Nile. What does that have to do with anything? Io Sky. What do you mean? That's, again, making excuses for WWE. But so that's supposed to happen. So I don't know where Jade fits in that mix, what they got planned for her, who's next for her. But I can tell you last night, I had people telling me, man, you was so damn right. It's like, man, Jade Cargill is nothing but just another wrestler in the WWE. And that's why I tell you, I was watching, what's her name? I always forget this chick's name, man. What the hell is this chick's name? I was watching her before she came to the NXT. And I watched her and Jordynne Grace wrestle each other. And Jordynne Grace won that match. I forget her damn name. But with the damn mohawk. Anyway, she's another one that could go straight to the main roster. Okay. But like I said, they have to have somebody there, to keep the interest in NXT. But I'll tell you what, when I saw her come to the WWE, all I really did when I looked at what was going on, I'm always looking at the landscape of a promotion. I'm just looking at what they had going on. And when I look at who's who, to have Jordynne Grace, Jade Cargill, Stephanie Vaquer all at the same time, Julie, all of them at the same time, that's all great to have them on the roster. But what are you going to actually do with them? Years ago, when they knew how to properly build up a match leading into, build up everything, the story leading into the match, it made the match feel better, more potent, more special. It made you more intrigued. Now it's more like they just put them in the ring in a scenario where something happens and they turn around, look at each other, and then the crowd starts chanting, "Holy shit, holy shit!" Like, you know what I mean? But what actually happens after that? You understand what I mean? What happens now? How do you make these characters feel larger than life, so to speak, whatever. I don't believe in that stupid shit, but that's that's wrestling talk. That's the type of shit they say. But how do you make them feel like, hey man, you know, I'm really looking forward to this match? It's honestly part of the reason why WWE, the mentality that I see, it's like people feel like it's just something to watch, but they don't make it priority. And for those that make it priority, like I'm watching this over anything else, okay, cool. The thing is, though, you've gotten used to this lazy format. You've gotten used to this whole, let's just put some stupid story together and just give them whatever, man. We're making money here. Like I heard someone say that the Crown Jewel show sold out already in Saudi Arabia, and they don't even have any matches lined up yet, right? Okay. That's what I mean about people just want to be a part of something. You don't even know who's on the card yet. That means I don't even care who's on the card. I just want to say I was there. I want to be a part of this part of it. This is exactly what I mean about the mindset. Before a card is announced, sold out. Now, to WWE fans, see, look at that. Great. But what are you getting in return? It's basically quantity over quality, like I said before, and this is what we're getting. So yeah, I don't even want to talk about the whole show. I just want to talk about that segment and that match because, like I said, 2 questions I got from that is, will we ever get actual closure on this story? And because it's not going to make any more sense going forward than it does now. And 2, what does Jade Cargill do now? Where does she go from here? Anyway, that's all I got for you guys now. I will catch you guys on the next video.